I'm DinaMarais. I'm the founder of Soul Purpose Publishing and Coaching. And I'm here on this amazing prosperity online show and with Prosper Taruvinga. And in this episode, you can expect me walking you through how to become a best-selling published author and also give you a vehicle to how to do that. Thank you so much for joining us.
Welcome to yet another exciting episode of the Online Prosperity Show. I'm your host, Prosper Taruvinga. And today, we have a truly special guest joining us. Actually looks like a phoenix rising from the ashes. Now, Dina, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great, Prosper. Thank you for asking. And I'm so happy to be here and chatting with you.
Absolutely. Well, the pleasure is all mine with such a vibrant backdrop, you know. It's really exciting what we're going to embark on. And for those that are watching right now, thank you so much for tuning in to the Online Prosperity Show. And as I was saying, our guest today has been blending the vibrant energy of Cape Town with the artistic flair of Madrid. Right now, she is in Cape Town and she's going to be telling us all those stories of her journeys and what brings her to the screen today. And I know all of this sounds intriguing. Well, that's exactly the journey that our guest DinaMarais is embarking on. She's the founder of Soul Purpose Publishing and Coaching, and she's dedicated her career to helping entrepreneurs elevate their brands and businesses by becoming best-selling authors. Now, she also has a passion to guide others manifest their dreams, and she's here to tell her story, insights, and also sprinkle a little bit of humor. You should have seen her behind the scenes. I wish I hit record a long time ago. We'd have a lot of bloopers of me just rolling, laughing behind the scenes. So buckle up and get ready for a conversation that is as enlightening as it is entertaining. Now, Dina, I could go on and talk about your accolades and your praises and everything else that comes along with it. Tell us a little bit about your journey so far. You're in Cape Town. You were in Madrid when we started talking, and you're going to go back to Madrid. What has inspired this move, and how do you see it influencing the work that you're doing?
Well, if I start at the beginning, just a quick summary. In my previous life, I was in IT. And then a disaster happened. When my husband did a deal, and that went, actually he didn't do a deal. He was part of a company, and a deal between the owner of the company, of the group, if I can put it that way, and someone else went sour. And we were sort of caught in the crossfire. And we lost everything. So we needed to find answers. We were on that quest to find answers. You know, it's like such a disruption. And then it's the first time I heard about coaching at that point. So we met with this person, and he was a psychologist as well as NLP practitioner. So there I was introduced to NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. I did my first practitioner certification in 2002, and from there on it evolved. And I have about 5 certifications just in coaching. So I love it. The moment I met it, we fell in love. I just fell in love with NLP, and it evolved from there. And then 3 years ago already, time flies. I was, I believe it's a divine intervention. I was happily coaching, and then I came, this beautiful opportunity came across my way. to create or to start my own publishing business. And I had such a reaction in my body because I just knew this is the thing that I've been missing, that I would just love, and I still enjoy it. Still enjoy it to today. So, yeah, so that's where I am now, still enjoying it.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for opening us up, with that piece of information. Now, Dina, usually when people come across a mishap in their life, or a disaster, as you call it, half of the time they would just curl into fetal position and just want it to go away. Or sometimes they would seek out a sangoma, or somebody of, that sort of traditional way of being. Why would you have chosen coaching, or how did the coaching path, come your way?
Well, I really believe that we are guided, Prosper. Things come across our path and we have the free will to take it or not. At that point, it was really curiosity about, what can this man tell me? Embarking from there onto NLP, I really started this journey of self-discovery. Of things that I was blind to, that I didn't know, how, who am I? And cultivating self-love. And then from there, it developed into really being very curious about energy, about vibration. So that was a catalyst. And so often we don't see it, that things that disrupt our lives are not against us, but it's actually for us. It's for us to direct us, or to, change the trajectory of our lives. And that there's always a blessing. There's always a blessing. Everything is for us.
Absolutely. And I quite like the journey that you've taken there. I mean, it's very profound what you're saying, because, like I referred to, when something happens, people will be, woe is me. But as you say, people actually should pay attention, because those things are happening for us. And maybe one day you'd actually have a good story to tell, if not on the Online Prosperity Show. Now, Dina, you did give us a piece of information that you were in IT, okay? And, for my understanding, a lot of people in IT are very systems driven and maybe very scientific in the way that they approach. There's an either or, garbage in, garbage out type understanding of life, binary. It's life is in black and white, and that's very left brain type setup. But you ended the answer on the left hemisphere. How did that transformation happen when you were introduced to all of this? Did you reject it at first, or did you just sit there and you were just, because you were looking for answers?
No, I embraced it. Because something that many people don't understand is that IT, yes, on the one hand, it's very binary. It is, what you put in is what you get out. Absolutely, black and white. However, IT is extremely creative. It's extremely creative to think of solutions, to design a system. It is really creative. So IT people definitely use their right brains as well, or their creativity to create, because we are all creators on one level or another. And so for me, that background of developing, our logical side and the creative side really benefited me in coaching as well, and everything from there, because I have the ability to see a big picture of something and then drill it down and create the smallest detail to execute on it. So I think in systems. I can see the big picture, and then I can design the system. And we are also systems. You know, our body is a system. We have an emotional body, a mental body, a spiritual body, an aura, our physical body. It's all systems.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for that. Now, you did mention when you were exposed to publishing, you actually had like a physical, feeling of, oh my God, I need to be doing this. And that sort of ties into, like you said, it is a system that we sort of operate in and things of that nature. Was that the first time you'd ever felt that, or had you maybe in the past felt it and maybe ignored it or didn't know what that was at that time?
Actually, no, but something did happen though. A number of years before, I read the book, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho.
Yeah.
And that made such an impression on me. And I made a wish to the universe to say, I want to write stories like this. But of course, I never did. So when this opportunity came past me, it was a direct connection for me to that wish. So that's why I felt that surge in my body is as if I was heard, and now the opportunity is ready.
Because the universe is always conspiring to get you that what you need and want. So you're like San Diego there. Absolutely. And I quite like that, because as the founder of Soul Purpose Publishing and Coaching, you've actually helped many entrepreneurs become best-selling authors. That in and of itself means you're helping, like people always want to change the world in their own little way. And that's something that you're doing over there. What sort of work has come through your doors?
Well, I publish multi-author books, so that's what I learned, when I embarked on a course to study publishing, and I learned that model. And it's a beautiful model because it creates the opportunity for people, entrepreneurs, who to actually broadcast their message to a global audience. And I mean, a book, any book of a nonfiction author is really a luxury business card. Whatever you write, whether it's a chapter in a multi-author book, whether it's whether you write your solo book, it's all a luxury business card. It introduces you to your potential clients, and it's a very transformational process, very transformational for the writer as well as the reader. I really believe that we all have greatness in us. And for me, this is publishing entrepreneurs' stories are a way for them to actually discover and own that greatness, and then inspire the reader who reads it to actually do the same.
I quite like that. I'm an avid reader myself, and I can attest to that, because when you read a book, you're going on a journey that took the author maybe 10, 15 years to bring together, and you can have that in maybe 1 or 2 days of sitting down, and you can only imagine the magic that transforms in that. But as you have mentioned, a book is just like a glorified or luxury business card, which then puts people on notice that this is now a permanent record of whatever it is that they have written, and it can never be taken back and things of that nature. I know a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with self-doubt. How do you actually help your clients overcome this hurdle so they can be able to share their stories confidently?
Well, I coach them as well, and we have, if somebody struggles, then I engage with them one-on-one. I also read every story. Doesn't matter what multi-author book or solo books I'm working with, I read every story and I give people personal feedback about, are they on track, with the promise of the book, and is their story compelling? Where do I see gaps from the reader's perspective? And then I ask him the questions to fill in those. And yes, it is a big thing, because the books that I publish, Prosper, are very emotional stories. It's transformation. So it's very important for the author to own their story, to embrace it, to not be ashamed of it. Because, if we don't own something, it owns us in terms of our stories. And it is such an amazing liberation and transformation that I've seen with authors writing their story. They break down, they cry, and they come out on the other side and they think, wow, because it gave them a total different perspective about what happened. Because when you write your story, the story of your journey, you have to go back, because the books are all also based on this storyline of the hero's journey. So what was the background that led to the transformation? So, one coach told me that she saved probably thousands of dollars in therapy by just writing a story, because it just gave her a total different look at herself, at the world. It gave her such clarity about what she's here to do. And that for me is beautiful. That for me is really telling me that, I'm fulfilling my purpose here.
Absolutely, because each and every one of us has been on a journey, whether they know it or not, and because fish don't see the water that they swim in, it doesn't necessarily entail that they're not in the midst of something remarkable and things of that nature. But you are working on a very interesting project at the moment.
Yes, actually two.
Absolutely.
And it's two multi-author books. The one is called Divine Rebirth, and that's why I've got the phoenix here behind me. And the subtitle of the book is Stories of Spiritual Awakening, Surrender, and Rebirth. So it is for the coach, the healer, the entrepreneur who has experienced something very profound. That was a huge disruption, perhaps. It can be anything from a financial disaster to overcoming cancer, to losing a relationship. It can really be anything. There's no right or wrong. It's what is your experience. And it's to tell that story in any ranging from 2,500 to 4,000 words on what was your experience like. And in that, writing the story, you also show the reader that you know where they are, that you have been where they might be now, and that you can lead them to where they want to be. And that is great because, it is, as we say, the luxury business card is to sharing your story authentically and writing from the heart. You don't have to be a writer, because that's why we have editors, and I give you feedback anyway about your story. But it's also to have that urge or that desire to make a bigger impact, to make your work seen by a greater audience. And it is wonderful to leverage that story so that you can grow your business, because that's the reason why people join the book, join any multi-author nonfiction book, is to grow your business.
Absolutely. And who are you inviting to be a part of this this project, the Divine Rebirth?
I invite spiritual entrepreneurs who have a spiritual business, who coaches, healers, anybody, any entrepreneur. You don't have to be a spiritual entrepreneur, but I understand that once you go through an experience like a spiritual awakening, your whole business outlook changes as well. So that's why I say spiritual entrepreneurs, because you've had this experience of a spiritual awakening. And whether you have experienced dark night of the soul, whether it was more gentler than that, any story like that is welcome, because the aim of the book is to shine a light on what it is like to experience a spiritual awakening, real life stories, and show people a roadmap. This is what happens. Who do you connect with best in the book, so that if you are on a journey like that, that you can actually reach out to someone who can assist you further.
Absolutely. And I viscerally believe in life, we're here to live, to learn, and to contribute. If you have lived through something, like you say, a spiritual awakening or things of that nature, what it is that you learned from that, it will be your turn to pass on that information to others so that they too can have a happier existence. Now, Dina, if somebody's excited, as you can see, I'm sitting at the edge of my chair right now, wanting to jump on and take a couple of pages in this book, what would be the best way that people can get in touch with you?
Well, I'm on all social media, but the best way is probably my website, www.dinamarais.com. Or find me on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on YouTube. You can send me an email, dina@dinamarais.com. So, and on my website, the details of the book is there. So you will definitely find me if you're looking for me.
Absolutely. I'll make sure that all those links are in the show notes below, just so that people can actually get started. But Dina, somebody might be watching this and obviously they're probably sitting right at the back of the room and they're being a little bit skeptical about the power of becoming a best-selling author. What sort of tangible benefits have your clients experienced after having worked with you?
Well, besides the fact that it really boosts their confidence in themselves and gives them a lot of clarity and personal transformation, having that status of I'm an international best-selling author really opens doors. It opens doors because you can leverage that story. Your story has so much power. And podcast hosts are always looking for new people to interview on their podcasts. And when you can say, I'm a best-selling author, then you can actually pitch for a higher level podcast and climb the ladder, as it were. Because, only about 1% of entrepreneurs actually become published authors. So for me, it's a number one strategy to stand out from the noise. And your visibility increases, your credibility increases, your own confidence increases. But yes, so it's visibility, podcast, summits, and even on stage. So many authors become speakers, and having the title of I've got this book, it's an international bestseller, that it really just opens doors for them.
I can only imagine.
So that's one, that is one. a huge benefit is that visibility. But also, I teach my clients how to leverage their story, how to leverage the book, how to grow their business, how to make the best of the book when of their program, of their online business, to make the most of the book in their business, to grow their business as well.
Absolutely. And who wouldn't want that? I mean, a book is an asset, as you have said. You only do it once, and then it just keeps giving the people that are going to be touched by it the information and the transformation, and also you, the creator, compensating you for the work that you have done. And it is a win-win situation for that. But there's always misconceptions when it comes to people publishing their own books and things of that nature. How do you address that, especially about self-publishing? And people already think, oh, I need to go through the traditional route and have a big name box shop look after my books and things of that nature.
Well, the big traditional publishing houses, they will work with you if you already are a big name. If you are not a huge name like the Wayne Dyers and everyone like that, they're not going to look at you, because for them it's a risk. You need to have the audience, you need to have all of that, and then they will take you on. Otherwise, they, like Hay House, they send you to Balboa Press, and you also pay a huge fee to work with them and pay your way to get published. So for me, the real great benefits of working with an indie publisher like myself is that we know our way around Amazon. We know how to do a best-selling or a bestseller launch. We know about the rules of Amazon, the categories that would be best for the books, the keywords that would be best for the books. And all those things ensure that your book is seen by people. Okay? Mm-hmm. If you don't know what you're doing, you can put your book in a way and it just disappears. So what we also do at Soul Purpose Publishing is, for the multi-author books, is that nobody gets royalties. What we do is we take the royalties that Amazon pays out, is we reinvest that into ads, into Amazon ads, so that the book is more visible. And of course, it's very important for every author to continue promoting the book themselves as well, because it not only, generate more sales, but it creates visibility for themselves and everyone else involved. So, when someone works with me, whether it's on their solo book to write and publish their book with me, or whether they've written the book and now they want professional publishing services, we provide that too. And the multi-author book is that the editing is taken care of. So somebody enrolling into the multi-author book is that they write their story, and everything else is taken care of for them. The editing, the formatting, the graphics to promote themselves and the book, it's all a package of what they receive by enrolling. I'm also, create speaker sheets for them so that they can actually have a ready one speaker sheet that they can submit to podcasts or summits to actually be speaking about their story. And so for me, often it's a question of that plays, for people publishing their books themselves or working with an indie publisher, is a question of time and money. If you have a lot of time, but you don't have money to use a professional, then of course you have to find out yourself how this works. And if you have money but you don't have the time, then you use someone to do it for you.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for taking us through that. But, somebody might be thinking, Dina, we live in a world of social media where you can instantly write something and you get that feedback and instant gratification and everything else. And that's what a lot of entrepreneurs have maybe been doing and have started their business. Why is now a perfect time for entrepreneurs, like you say, to share their stories? And what difference would that make for them as opposed to what they're already doing, which is posting on social media?
Well, posting on social media, even if you write the best post, it's gone in a second, because the next post is coming in. We are so bombarded with information. But when you write your story and you have your own book in your hand in a tangible format, it's a beautiful feeling. It is such an accomplishment. And it's something that you can give to people. You can give it to your family. Do you know how many coaches' families don't know what actually they're doing? And, to give out the book to your family, to your friends, to your clients, to sell it at, if you work on stage, to have the book, sell the book there, to go for book signings, to your bookstore. It is a wonderful feeling of having something tangible in your hand versus just digital.
I hear you. And I mean, obviously, for those that are watching the video, you can see I've got tons and tons of books behind me, and it is a representation of a lot of people's work. That's just resting on my shoulders right there. And wouldn't it be nice that maybe one of your books is also behind me there? And yeah, that would be something that would be great. But for those that are listening right now, Dina, and maybe you've convinced them. I've seen you twisting people's arms while they're holding their phones there, and you've convinced them to maybe get started on their journey to writing a book, but they're feeling very overwhelmed because, like you said, writing a book really exposes you. What are maybe the initial steps that you recommend somebody take so that it's not as overwhelming and they don't suffer from that imposter syndrome?
Well, I always ask my authors a few questions up front about, do you have clients? Do you get great results for them? Do you see yourself as an expert in what you do? All of those things create, your journey, everything that you've learned, your wisdom, your secret sauce, everything that you have is absolutely perfect for you. And you are the perfect match for your soul clients. So yes, we can allow our ego to drown us out. And, that self-doubt, actually in the imposter syndrome, rob us of putting ourselves out there. But I love what that saying is, feel the fear and do it anyway. And also knowing that you have someone like me holding your hand. I got your back. I understand you. I've been where you are, and I can truly help you. Whether you want to write your own book, because I have a beautiful program to write and publish a book with me. We have live writing sessions. Every month we have 3 writing sessions. Give you an outline, template to actually design your book first, because that's what I've learned from IT. The more time you spend on the design, the less time you go back to correct it. So really just take the time, flesh out your outline of your book, and then you start writing. And it's also to create a habit of writing. Cultivate that habit of writing every day, even for 20 minutes. Just, it's like a huge elephant that you eat one bite at a time to create your book. And that's why I love multi-author books, because it's a chapter instead of a whole book. And it really, you experience the process of the publishing. You're going through that process, the thrill of working with a group of people who are all writing their stories and networking and holding each other accountable. And it's just a beautiful energy. So whether you go for the multi-author book as a first step, I think that's great. And also many people have done many times multi-author books with me. They do the first one, they love the experience, they come back, they do the second one, and now the third one. So that's a great way to start. Absolutely. And even if you have published a book already on Amazon, and the title of the book connects with you, it's great to be in a multi-author book as well, because you can refer people to your book that you have written and published. It gives it new life.
I like that. It sort of symbolizes the statement: if you want to go far, you go alone, but if you want to go further, you go together. And I think Divine Rebirth is the perfect vehicle to put you to all the heights that you want to reach. And as you can see behind Dina there, it's like a phoenix rising. I really, really love that so much. But obviously for you, Dina, I mean, you have done, your part. You've helped other people. Little birdie behind you there told me that you're having fun in Spain. What's been happening there?
Well, I am so excited. My daughter lives in Spain, and I have 2 grandbabies now.
Congratulations.
The one little boy is just turned 3 in December, and the little Maya, she's turning 1 on the 10th of June. And of course, I want to be there to celebrate her first birthday. And so at the moment, I am on a quest to actually apply for a digital nomad visa in Spain, to be able to move there and live there and work from there. And I'm very excited about that because, I would like to travel. I would like to go and attend and host retreats in Spain and Portugal. So for me, it's really a whole new phase of my life, a whole new world that is opening up. And I am close to my children, because my boys are also in Prague, just a short flight from there. So for me, it is just a beautiful new phase in my life to move to Madrid.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for obviously sharing your incredible journey and insights with us today. And I can't wait to see how Divine Rebirth is going to be gracing our shelves. And I'm already starting to make space for a copy of it in my bookshelf here, because I've just had front row seats of obviously sitting at the launch of the journey that started also. Thank you so much for the time today, Dina.
Oh, thank you so much, Prosper. It's such a pleasant conversation with you. Thank you.
Absolutely. And for those that are watching still, thank you so much. As you have heard, Divine Rebirth is on the way. And if you're eager to elevate your brand and maybe manifest your dreams, I want you to consider connecting with Dina so you can explore how to become a best-selling author that could definitely transform your business. You could either do it solo, as she has said, or you could be part of, the group authoring projects that she's got going on at the moment. And I want you to remember that your story has the power to inspire and create change. And, Dina is just offering a vehicle for you to be able to tell that story far and wide. And while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe to the Online Prosperity Show for more enlightening conversations like this, because in our next episode, we're going to be diving into ideas that can lead you to a happier existence. And I also encourage you to share these podcasts with somebody who could benefit from today's discussion, or somebody who's been sitting on the fence, about writing their own book, or has a good story to tell. And until next time, bye for now.